Okay, let's get to work. So this is the same cost audit template, or very similar to the one that we use when we do this work for our clients. So got it all laid out for you. It's very simple, and as it should be. It does not need to be complicated in order to be effective, and you don't need to be a CPA to get this done. All you need is access to your books, your purchase history, so that you can see who you're ordering from, how much you're spending, and how often you're ordering, how much you're ordering. That's it. Now, hopefully this is more than just a stack of invoices, but if you have to go back through your invoices to find this stuff and lay it all out correctly, it's okay. Just take the time to do it, because once you get this stuff all laid out, it's going to be pretty obvious where you've got opportunities to save a lot of money. So there's a lot of value in doing this work. Don't be lazy, get it done. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get it all laid out, but once you do, I promise you it's worth it. So just a real quick description of what's on this sheet so you know how to use it. And some of the stuff I have in here is just examples. So you're going to want to create basically a section for each one of your purchase categories. So here I've put materials. Let's say I'm a manufacturing company and I source materials like wood or steel or whatever that we use in production. Then I'm going to want to make a materials category. You might have a shipping category, a packaging category, or promotional products, or whatever it is, but try to group things by category. It makes it easier for you to know what you're looking at when you come back and you have all the data here laid out. So the very first row in each section is going to be the general category, materials, and then the type. So what are we looking for here? Are we looking for cost, or are we looking for order volume? So for the general category, we want to know the cost. So for each month, for 12 months, we want to know how much did we spend total in materials for month 1, month 2, month 3, all the way through month 12. Now, by the way, this is not a calendar year of 12 months. This is the trailing 12 months from where you are right now. So from where you are today, what is the last 12 full months of data that you have? That's what you want. So if you're in April, you're going to go from March last month to like through April, I guess, of last year. So put that in for each month. Then the same thing for your vendors. For each individual vendor, how much did you spend with Wood Partners Co. for the last 12 months? And put that in for each month. Now, below each vendor, you're going to put the products, the main products that you purchase from that vendor. Now, don't get super, super granular. If you only buy in, a few units of something, it's not worth the time and busying up your spreadsheet to put that here. Stick to just the main products, because that's where you're going to find the most opportunity. You want to try to keep your workspace as clean as you can so it doesn't drive you crazy. So how much oak did you buy? Now, here's where we switch from cost to volume. When you're talking about the individual products, what we want to know here is order volume. It could be pallets or units or truckloads, or however you purchase that particular product. Put that volume here. So let's say materials, we spent, 100,000. Let's say for Wood Partners Co., we spent 50,000 in particular with them. And the volume we had was, don't put any letters in these columns because you want it to calculate for you. But let's say the volume was, 1,000 pallets. We'll just call it that, okay? I'm going to kind of put the same thing for 3 months in a row. Now let's get on down to the last 3 months of the year. And let's say that our purchase volume has increased from 1,000 pallets a month to now 2,000 pallets a month. All right, so there we go. And let's say our cost, because we're paying the same price there, has now increased from 100,000 to 200,000. And from 50,000 with this particular vendor to 100,000. So everything doubled. At the beginning of the year, we were spending 50,000 per month for 1,000 pallets. Now we're spending 100,000 per month for 2,000 pallets. So the volume change column is showing us that our order volume has increased 100% from the first 3 months of the year to the last 3 months of the year. And our cost has also changed. Our cost has increased 100% from the first 3 months of the year to the last 3 months of the year. So it is the same. It's showing us that our costs have increased at the exact same rate as our volume. And we don't want to see that, because if we've increased our volume by 100%, we would expect these costs to increase at a slightly discounted rate. So instead of paying the same price, but we're buying twice as much, maybe we want to see this at 150,000. Maybe we want to see this at, 75,000, just for the sake of argument. That's what we kind of want to see, something like that. So this is better. We want to see that our change in cost is lower than our change in volume, because as you order more, you should be paying less per unit. If you're paying the same amount per unit but ordering more, you're not getting the discounts that you've earned by ordering more. That's the way it works in business. You order more, you pay a cheaper price. If that's not happening, if you're seeing this more, you're looking more like this, where you're saying, wow, I've increased my order volume by 100%, but my vendor is still charging me the same amount. They've also increased what they're charging me by 100%. Nothing has changed. There's a problem. You want to see this cost change being at a lower rate than your volume change. So that's one of the most important things that you want to look at as it pertains to analyzing your costs with your vendors. Now, moving over to the notes column, you're going to want to put any notes that pertain to that particular vendor here or particular product here. Vendor notes go in the same row with the vendor, and then product notes might go in the same line with the product. But current payment terms are net 15. Maybe you have like doesn't reply to emails quickly. Maybe there's like a quality issue or something like that. More than likely, quality issues are going to go on the product line. So quality issue here, availability, maybe it's like never in stock when you need it or something like that. Also could be good things, right? It doesn't all have to be bad. Obviously, it could be you want to make sure you're clearly understanding the values and the challenges in each of these vendor relationships. Don't be too wordy, but make sure that you have a clear picture of this vendor and the product and what it's like to work with them. In the next column, it's your wish list. So if there's any issues that you identified or that you noted in the notes column, you're probably going to want to add those things to the wish list. So maybe it's like would prefer, net 60 terms, someone more responsive, larger selection. Maybe it's like certain capabilities that you wish they had, something like that. Okay. So this becomes basically your playbook, where once you do the work and you get this all laid out, now you can clearly see where, costs, and this is something that I would highlight red, right? So if I see this and I see that, oh, my volume has increased 100% and my cost also increased 100%, my cost change is not lower than my volume change, I'm highlighting this red. This is something that I'm going to come back to. This is one of the vendors that I'm going to focus on when I start looking for competing quotes, market analysis. This has basically now been red flagged by me that I'm saying I've doubled my quantity. This vendor is not giving me a better deal. And that doesn't mean that you need to leave the vendor. It could simply be that you just need to create some supporting evidence around the fact that you should be paying a lower price, and then have a good discussion with them. And they should be willing to work with you and negotiate the price down, especially because obviously you're a growing customer and they don't want to lose a customer who just grew their volume by 100% in a year. You're the kind of customer they should be wanting to work with. So they should for sure be open to working with you on the price that you're paying. However, it is unacceptable to have doubled your volume unless you went from like 1 unit to 2 unit, right? But if you're doing a good amount of volume and you've doubled that volume over the course of the year, then you really should be looking at getting lower costs from that vendor. And if they're not willing to work with you, you really want to look at other vendors, because I promise you, you can find someone who can offer you the same product and the same quality in most cases, in 95% of cases. Okay, maybe somebody out there is handcrafting some unique thing that you can't find other places. But for the most part, you will find somebody who can replace this vendor and who will be eager to earn the business of a customer who's growing their volume 100% year over year. So don't feel trapped, don't feel stuck, but you have to be open to change, and you have to be looking at these numbers and saying, no, this isn't right. You have to accept the reality that something is going wrong here. Now, within this, lies great opportunity, because maybe you've got 10 vendors that you're looking at like this, but imagine if you said, okay, instead of paying this vendor $100,000 per month, I should be paying them $80,000. Well, what if you save $20,000 per month or $10,000 per month over the course of 12 months? There's $120,000, $240,000 right back in your pocket from one vendor just by identifying that you should be paying a lower price. Maybe with your particular product or vendor, 10% seems like a lot. You'd be surprised what you can accomplish, especially when you look at other vendors and what they're willing to do to earn the business of a growing customer. So don't be pessimistic, be optimistic about it, and be thorough in your research. But first step is to get all the data laid out here so that you can identify those areas of opportunity. And if you need any help from us, we're always here.